Larry, I think the first 24 minutes of this football game could not have gone any different than what we expected. Two phenomenal football teams that play a great brand of football on offense and on defensive side of the ball. And there was a lot of highlights to choose from the first half. Let's take a look at them. Here you see Tucker on their first possession of the game. They drove it right down the field. There's the long pass that set it all up to Yaquise Shelley. And then later on in the drive, it was the quarterback took it all the way down near the goal line, and they eventually punched it in for the first touchdown of the game. And then Creekside answered right back. They went down the field on this short pass to Bryson Terry, and eventually Dexter Knox would get his first touchdown of the game. And then after an exchange of a couple possessions, it's Elijah Sullivan ripping off a very long run. And look at number 1 trailing there. That's Evan Berry. That's the play he got injured on. Not sure if he's going to return here in the second half. And then Tucker comes right back down the field. An easy pitch and catch to Dominic Sanders. And then later on in the second quarter, it is Dexter Knox once again with a nice run, which set up his own touchdown run. And that's where we stand right now. Score 14-all. And let's take a look at the first half stats brought to you by Church's Chicken. Larry, what sticks out to you?
Well, the big thing right now, again, I still go back to the passing yards by Tucker, a team that doesn't really pass very much in this, but it's very even the rest of the way. Penalties could really become huge for Tucker down the stretch. 7 penalties there, 55 yards, and a couple of those were big. The face mask penalty was a 5-yard, a couple of 15-yarders, 2 pass interference on that touchdown drive. That really could come back later in terms of helping Creekside get that game-tying touchdown. That's the thing I'm sure that Coach Lamar talked about at halftime. Playing smart. He said you got to play 24 minutes in the season to get a ring. You got to play smart the rest of the way to get this championship.
And Tucker comes in. They're notable for being a rushing team, and they have nearly the same amount of rushing yards as Creekside does, 109 to 107. And so a very balanced attack for both teams tonight, and they've needed to be balanced if they're going to win this football game.
Absolutely. It's been as we said, we expected just an outstanding ball game, and we got that here in the first half. And as you said right before break, Trey, as we talked here during the intermission, I can't wait for the second half here to see what these two very well-coached, very evenly balanced teams will come up with here in the second half.
And here's Weber's kick. Creekside will get the first crack at it here as the second half begins. Kick is taken, and it's down the far sideline. It's Cam Jackson, and he's in a foot race, and he's going to go all the way. 99 yards for the Creekside touchdown.
Well, what a big play right there for Creekside. Again, special teams has been big too. We've seen a couple of box snaps by the special teams unit on Tucker. But for Creekside, give this up to the speed and the blocking ahead of him. This was all Cameron Jackson, the all first team, all region 4 performer, the senior. What a job he did on this one. He found the seam and took it to the house.
My goodness. 13 seconds off the clock, 6 points on the scoreboard. And a 99-yard touchdown run for Cameron Jackson. And now Alejandre in to try to extend Creekside's lead, and he does. So we don't even have a play from scrimmage, and already Creekside has taken the lead for the first time in this football game, 21-14, and take a look at number 5.
From his own run right there, as you can see, some great blocking. He finds a seam, and at this point right now, nobody's going to catch him. Feel bad for number 26 there. He's giving it his best, but again, the great speed there, that was just outstanding. Raquan Rush, the defensive back and running back is number 26 there. Watch again here the blocking. Elliott Berry with a good block. And they're off and running, and all of a sudden Creekside has the lead for the first time in this game.
And Larry, we take you all the way back to the first quarter of this football game when Kirk Tucker was unable to reel in the high, short kickoff. And we said at that point that special teams plays such a large part in this football game. And this is the third issue on special teams that Tucker has had, but the first time it's cost them points.
And again, remember, as we talked in the first half, Creekside has fallen behind in several games this year. They've only had 2 close games. The fewest points they've scored since the opener way back in August was 27 points in a 27-23 win at Whitewater down in Fayetteville. This is a team right now that scores a lot of points, and right now they've got the lead just seconds into the second half.
Another one of those short kicks taken by Kirk Tucker. This time no fair catch. And a nice tough run by the strong safety. And he never does go down. His momentum will carry him up to the 25-yard line. And all of a sudden, you want to talk about adversity, which we talked a lot about in the first half. Now Tucker finds themselves with some adversity. Down by 7 here with 11:39 to go. We have not seen a play from scrimmage yet in the second half. We're about to see our first, and it'll come from Tucker. And there you see number 1 on the sideline, Evan Berry. He was jogging and sprinting a little bit in warm-ups before the kickoff. He is itching to get out there on the field and partake in this state championship game for the Creekside Seminoles. And there's Joseph Farrar and his stats: 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, both scores for this Tucker team. Here's that inside trap play. This is Dominic Sanders. And he is taken down by Devontae Wilson at the 33-yard line. A nice carry on first down for number 1.
That's his first carry of the game by my account, and this is one here. Again, we saw the nice touchdown catch that he had. Nice run here out of the box. It's a good carry for him, and a good pickup for someone, again, that they really count on, and they obviously want to try to hopefully establish him in the running game here in the second half.
He is certainly a weapon on both sides of the ball, on the ground and through the air. And now half the Tucker offensive line jumped the snap. The other half stayed with their hand on the ground, so that'll be a false start on Tucker.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
And Larry, you just said it a couple minutes ago, penalties are going to be crucial in the second half, specifically for Tucker, because they've committed so many more up to this point than the Seminoles have.
Yeah, that's already their 8th one of this game for 60 yards. And again, we're just a minute into the second half.
So it backs them up. They're a little off schedule on offense now, and whenever that's the case, they let number 2 call his own number, and it's another good gain for Joseph Farrar. He's really been their best weapon through the running game, and that's saying a lot. They've got a nice, talented stable of backs. Does the Tucker Tigers.
Well, I like that Tucker is coming out here in the second half and establishing the run the way they did to start the game. They got away from that a little bit with some passes that were very effective for them, but they really didn't get much done there in the latter part of the second quarter. But so far, a very good start from them on offense as we come up here on 3rd and short.
3rd and inches. They go double tight ends. 1 running back. That back is Elijah Sullivan. They give it to big number 20, and he drops the ball. And if Creekside might have recovered, Sullivan had a shot at it. And it is Creekside ball at the 32-yard line. An inauspicious start to the second half for the Tigers.
That's Chris Collins, number 32, the senior. And the coach says he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Now watch this. Really, that goes back to the running back. He never had the ball. Sullivan never had the ball on the ground. One more look at it here. I take that back. That's a great strip right there by the defensive lineman. I believe that's Taj Perry, the freshman, 51. Yes, it was.
It is Taj Perry. Second time we've called the freshman's name tonight. And the last time Creekside had good field position to start a drive like this, Tucker's defense stepped up and shut Creekside out. Creekside gets another opportunity here. They go to the air. It's Darvin Williams, and he keeps his feet and falls out of bounds at the 16-yard line. It'll be a first down, and we've seen Creekside go to the air the last couple possessions a lot more than they did early, Larry.
Yes, they did. That's Darvin Williams there. Again, 35 catches, 7 of them for touchdowns coming into this game right now. When you look at this team, this is very dangerous territory right now for Tucker, the way this second half is starting.
Once they get close to the end zone, they like to try to run the ball, does Creekside, and the running back that's in right now is Dexter Knox. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns on the night for the Seminoles. And Harper takes it in the shotgun, hands it to number 12. He's got a seam, 5, touchdown! 16 yards for number 12. His 3rd of the night.
Dexter Knox is not committed to a Division I college, but let me tell you something. There are about 24 college coaches on the sidelines, and he ran right into them. They're in a wall right there in the end zone. Knox with the great move right there, wide open. And hey, do a little dance. That's your 3rd score of the night, young man. Great play by Knox and these Creekside Seminoles. And all of a sudden, they are in command of this game 2 minutes into the second half.
Here is Alejandro in to attempt the PAT for the second time in the last 2 minutes. And some of those coaches' cell phones are blowing up right now, Larry, as number 12 is putting on a show here at the Georgia Dome.
Well, that's just a huge hole right there. You can see great blocking up front by this team. Boulware is up there. You get number 72, Harrell's up there. A leader of this team, just a junior. And you've got blocking like that, and I think, you know, we were talking this week with the coaches. Listen, without blocking, every running back looks the same. This kid's a pretty special player, but he's got some nice, very nice offensive linemen in front of him, and makes his job a lot easier too.
2 plays, 32 yards, 9 seconds. So they have possessed the ball 9 seconds, ran 2 plays from scrimmage, and returned a kick for a touchdown. And a halftime score of 14-14 has quickly vanished. It is now 28-14 Creekside, 10:01 to go in the third quarter.
As I said a moment ago, right before that, this is very dangerous territory now from Tucker, because now, like you said, you're 2 scores down, and another kickoff and another fair catch. You know, that's a pretty smart play, really, when you think about it. You keep the ball out of Shelley's hands so you don't get the return, and you force them again to start the ball where you want them in their own territory, and you won't let them get off a big return.
And so now Tucker has to pull themselves up and come off the deck and put together something on offense. Creekside is putting it together on all sides of the football, and Cameron Jackson is down at the 46-yard line, and they are stretching out his left leg, and looks like it could just be cramps here, and so they'll stretch the young man out and get him off the field. He's allowed to cramp up, Larry. He has a 99-yard kickoff return here in the first half. I'm sure they're fine tending to him on the sideline. Take a look at the Creekside schedule. You were talking about the amount of points that they scored, Larry. They have not scored less than 41 points in their last 6 games. This is what we like to call in the business peaking at the right time.
That's right, absolutely. You can see the 49-0 score there all in the regular season finale, and they have dominated throughout. Lakeside, Evans, Harris County, North Paulding, and Cal last week 55-10. As right now, again, they've done this tonight right now, 28-14, again, without Evan Berry, as you mentioned before, with that injury early on in the first half, and now with Jackson on the ground, as you said, it does appear to be cramps, and so hopefully get that straightened out and see him back out there.
Let's check in downstairs with John Nelson. Nelly?
Something to pay attention to, obviously, with the cramps here, just staying hydrated. It's one of the balances of here. You know what life is like outside. It's like 35, 40 degrees outside, but just because you're okay outside doesn't mean that you're going to be okay inside in 72 degree perfect conditions. So let's see how many athletes are going to be running into this problem. But the coaches always tell their players, guys, stay hydrated all the time. And we'll see if it turns into an issue for Creekside as we get into the third and fourth quarter.
And here is Tucker, down by 2 scores, 1st and 10. The 28. It's a reverse, and they've got Farrar out blocking, and he lays a nice one. It's Yaquis Shelley, Larry, as they're trying to find a way to get the ball in that young man's hands. He was one of your keys to the game, and he has not touched the ball very much since the first possession. Yeah,
just 2 catches for 26 yards, and really that one was a 28-yarder, and that was the big play right there. Look, smart play right here, I think, by Brian Lamar, the head coach, to hit the ball in his hands somewhere. Somehow, they've kept it away in the special teams. He hasn't been a factor. Defense, of course, he's had some great plays, but on offense, you need him now 2 touchdowns down to make some plays and get a ball to this offense.
Absolutely, and he'll check out after the catch. And now Tucker goes back to their bread and butter, which is straight wing T. And they run Elijah Sullivan up the middle on the short yardage situation, and big number 20 picks up the first.
Yeah, let me just say this about Tucker. Look, it's 28-14, and we're early in the third quarter. That's the key. We're early in the third quarter. This is a team last week that knocked out the defending state champions, Gainesville, 2014. This game's not over, okay? Creekside has all the momentum right now. They're playing very, very well now without two guys. They're still working on Jackson here on the sidelines. But this game is not over. This team is not going to give up. We have a lot of football left here.
No, Brian Lamar, amongst the best coaches in the state of Georgia, maximizes the talent at Tucker as well as anybody, and there is a ton of it. When we covered their game earlier in the season against MLK,
timeout, Tucker.
Brian Lamar said pretty much are too deep on both sides of the football. We'll all play college football someday. That ought to tell you something. We're going to take a break with 8:48 to go in the third quarter. Creekside has jumped out front, 28-14. Don't go anywhere. It's live state championships on GPB. Football fans are a special breed, but they're not the only passionate crowd we attract at GPB. Take our advice. Don't get between the Downton Abbey fans at your house and the telly on January 5th at 9 p.m. That's when the 4th season of the wildly popular drama debuts right here on GPB in a special 2-hour episode. The season 4 premiere January 5th at 9 o'clock right here on GPB.
Biggest challenge yet right now for these Tucker Tigers. 14-0. They've been ranked #1 in 5A from start to finish. Now time to show what you're made of.
1st and 10 from the 42. Farrar airs it out, complete, and they run a hook and lateral, and a nice snag out of midair for Dominic Sanders. And a little dose of Coach Oldendown's own medicine. And a first down for Tucker inside Seminole territory.
What do we say as kids? Anything you can do? This was a great call out of a timeout. I mean, just out, same exact play. You're right. Same side of the field, everything. You get it to Shelley, and instead it's Sanders who takes it from there. Very smart play by the Tucker Tigers and a first down. And again, here's the thing. Get a little confidence under your belt.
A 6-yard reception, 15-yard additional on the Dominic Sanders lateral, and now a flag comes in.
Appears to be on Creekside.
There's no time. There's no flag on the play. Timeout was called by Creekside.
Well, I want to show you right here what happens. Again, you're going to see the ball coming in down here, right in through here. Let's run this play. This is, you can see right away, looking over here to see what he's got in the defensive back. This is Barry right here. They want to see what he's going to do. Elliott Barry. Now watch. Again, you've been very good at running the ball. You got a guy coming here on the outfield is going to come in. Shelley is the guy that we've been looking for, trying to see what he can do, trying to keep the ball out of his hands. But this is a guy, very great play at the beginning. That's Sanders right there. This is very, very, very smart play by this team.
Easily the two best weapons on offense for this Tucker team throughout the year have been Dominic Sanders and Yaquis Shelley. Both guys are very dangerous on offense, on defense, special teams, returning kicks. And I'll go back to that game we did on Football Fridays in Georgia as Tucker played MLK, and Yaquis Shelley returned a punt for a touchdown, a kickoff for a touchdown, intercepted a pass for a touchdown, and caught a long touchdown pass. So he is very dangerous, although he's not played a huge role in tonight's game, is because Creekside is certainly keying on number 4. But that certainly opens things up for Dominic Sanders and company. And the play action to Sanders. And Joseph Farrar looks outside, finds Devin Towns for the first down at the 20-yard line.
Nice catch there by Towns, but credit this. Watch the blocking he gets on this. Really nice play by the offensive line. You can see right here they give him all kinds of time to work with. Gives him time to look for his receiver, gets him. And again, as we said, Tucker now answering the call, which they had to do here, down by 2 touchdowns here early in the third.
It's a 15-yard catch for Devin Towns, who normally carries the football. A rare catch for the young man, just his 6th of the season. 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line, and there is Shelley. And what a block by Elijah Sullivan. And it's a touchdown for Shelley as he gets past Elliott Barry, and Tucker answers the call. 21 yards.
Let me tell you something. Here's how impressive that hit was. The guy who scored the touchdown, nobody went to go celebrate him. Watch number 20 right here, and the lick he puts right here. Oh, my goodness, that's a decleater, as they would call that.
And we could hear that one all the way up in the booth.
Joshua Moon was the recipient, the victim of that vicious hit. But again, you get the ball in Shelley's hands. What a great play here and a great drive by Tucker to get back on the board.
And Weber boots it through. And now Tucker pulls within a touchdown as they have answered the call. Take a listen to this replay. And that's what sprung Yaquise Shelley into the end zone. And Tucker, you can never count him out. They got a pretty good offense of their own that's averaged 43 points per game. And they just booted through their 21st point. And we continue, Larry, to go back and forth here at the Georgia Dome in the Class 5A championship game.
As we expected, as you see there, 5 plays, 72 yards, just over 2 minutes time of possession on this one. Very, very smart drive, very efficient. I thought very creative play calling in this one. Brian Lamar, as you mentioned, the coaching at his alma mater. And what a great play call he did right there. And again, the great teamwork. And you can say it all day long again. Without that block, that play doesn't happen. They got the ball in Shelley's hands on 3 of the 5 plays right there. That was key because, again, he has not been a factor in this game, but now he's on the board. And once again, we've got a ball game. We expected the #1 team to answer the call, and that they did on that drive.
Here's Weber in to boot it. Cameron Jackson is back in the football game. And this one looks like it bounced out of bounds at the 1-yard line. If so, it would be a penalty. And there they drop the flag at the 1.
Little conversation there. I guess he doesn't have his
contacts in.
His guessologist degree. He's not a certified guessologist just yet. But he's taking classes.
We have a kick out of bounds.
They eventually got it right.
Probably placed at the 35-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah.
And as you heard the officials, 1st and 10 upcoming from the 35-yard line. So pretty good field position for the Seminoles as they continue to hold on to the lead, 28-21. If you're just joining us and you ran to the fridge during halftime and you wonder how Creekside scored a couple touchdowns, they returned the opening second half kick 99 yards. Cameron Jackson took it to the house, and then Elijah Sullivan turnover for Tucker set it up for Creekside, and Dexter Knox scored his 3rd touchdown of the game. And then Tucker answered back, and you just saw that touchdown for Yaquise Shelley, and that's where we're at, 28-21. We thank you for joining us here on GPB's live continuous coverage of the high school football state championships. Trey McDaniel, Larry Smith, and John Nelson with you. And there's Bryson Terry back in the mix. And boy, what a 1-2 punch they have in the backfield.
I got to tell you what, both of these 2 teams have just got some great running backs, some great players at the skill positions. Terry again just runs so hard, a junior. As you said, he's built very similar to Knox. That's a tough tandem to bring down.
And now they got Dexter Knox lined up in the slot at the bottom of your screen, and they give it to Bryson Terry instead up the middle. A nice jump cut. Gets him down to the 49-yard line and picks up a Seminole 1st down.
So number 55 is down. Spenzel Bolware, one of the leaders on this team. He really does a great job for Coach Downs, calling out some of the plays there on the line.
And he's having a tough time. Doesn't want to check out of the game, but might be forced to. And he is, and now Downs looking to replace him, and he will with number 77.
There's a replay, trying to see what happens right there. You can see him right there, just the play comes up right there, kind of rolls up his ankle a little bit.
And so sophomore, number 77, Lavaris Berkeley, will take his place. And it's 1st down and 10 from the 49 for the Seminoles. Play action, passing again, and the route's almost jumped. Instead, it's complete, and down the sideline is Jaquan Duncan. And he is knocked down at the 11-yard line. And so the junior Jaquan Duncan with his first touch of the game, and it's a good one, a 40-yard pickup for the Seminoles.
Well, we talked about, again, both of these teams have so many weapons. Here's a guy not even in the starting lineup, and yet here he goes. A big gamble there on the interception that doesn't pay off. And then he goes to make a cut and he slips. That was 6 points. One more look at this, though. This is what happens. Trying to make something happen. You can't blame him that. I believe that was Devontae Reynolds already has one interception, and instead it's a big gain for the Seminoles.
And here is Knox, who's met in the hole immediately by Kirk Tucker, and it looked like a head-to-head collision, and Tucker is now shaken up. And here comes Coach Lamar to check on the senior who's headed to Stanford after the season. And he taps, it looks like, on his left arm, and I don't want to speculate, Larry, but it looks like it might be a stinger. Let's take a look at the previous play, which was darn near an interception, but turned into a 40-yard gain for Creekside.
Which was really close. He timed it just right, but the play went over his head. Had that ball been just about 6 inches lower, that might have been 6 the other way, in a tie ball game.
And that was strong safety senior Devontae Reynolds who jumped the route. And had he been able to reel that in, Larry, he would have been celebrating down in the far end zone. Instead, it's a 40-yard gain for Creekside. And when we resume play, it'll be 2nd down and 9 from the 10 as they continue to tend to Kirk Tucker, the strong safety.
You know, it's funny that when you talk about both these teams, and we talked with Brian Lamar a couple of days ago, one thing he said was we have very intelligent players, and I think that both of the coaches really like the football IQ of their players.
Take a look at the Tucker schedule, and it is unblemished as well, just like Creekside. 14-0. And look at some of those scores, Larry. 60, 60, 55, 55, 56, 75-0 over North Atlanta. Things tightened up a little bit in the playoffs, mostly because they were playing Gainesville, the defending 5A champion, last week. And Mr. Deshaun Watson, who's heading to Clemson, maybe the best quarterback in the state of Georgia, and they were able to eke that out. Remember, they trailed 14-0 in that football game, Tucker did, before they came back to win. So they have faced adversity, and they're facing it here in the 3rd quarter. Pitch, toss sweep, Dexter Knox trying to find his 4th touchdown of the game, and he does, but a flag comes in.
I think they may have gotten a hold there, maybe coming back. Well, I tell you what, Knox has just got a second speed once he gets an open space.
Yeah. And you're right on the money, Larry. It was a hold. You know, when the back judge throws it in from that far away, it typically is a hold. They wasted no time in pitching the flag, and you should see a shot of it here on our replay.
Yeah, you're going to take a look here, and this is one that, again, just like you said, when you see the back judge making it, means right there, there was the hold because he had the momentum. He tried to move around the block, and he couldn't. Wasn't allowed to do that. Jalen Pearson held by Darvin Williams on that. Anytime you see, and then really it's an easy call for the back judge to make, as you mentioned. Anytime you see a defender trying to go around the block and he's impeded, it's a pretty easy call.
It is. So it takes Dexter Knox's 4th touchdown off the board. He remains in as the deep back. A rare 2 tight end formation now for Creekside all day to throw for Felix Harper. He's looking for Knox. And Knox lays out. And it's incomplete and over his head as they try to get the ball to number 12 again. As we mentioned early and often in this football game, Knox has been their best weapon, not only on the ground, but in the passing game this season.
Yeah, he's really such a threat out of the backfield. That was a really smart play here. Just didn't quite get that. Oh, boy, it was really close. And he knew it. The sophomore knew he had him. Felix Harper, what a season he's had. Almost had 6 right there.
So now, because of the holding penalty and the incompletion, it's 3rd down and 15 from the 16. Passing, stepping up and throwing well over the intended receiver's head. It's intended for Dexter Knox again, and it brings up a 4th down. So Tucker's defense tightens up inside the red zone to force a fourth down.
Yeah, nice play here. Again, good protection, but again, give credit to the safety right there, Devontae Reynolds, causing some problems. It was because his presence right there in the path forced him to throw the ball high, and now we've got fourth down with shoes in the game. Alejandro, love those shoes.
And you can see him from up here.
You can see those from Chattanooga.
A 33-yard field goal attempt for Alejandro. He missed a 35-yarder earlier, but this one is up and good, and it's a 2-possession lead now again for Creekside. 31-21.
Nice drive there by the Seminoles to take it all the way down. One more look at this. Coach Downs. Yeah, the kicker here, a sophomore. Played a lot of soccer as a youth, still enjoys soccer. Another day at the office for him. Number 95, no problem at all.
Well,
Francisco Alejandro.
Larry wanted to get off the schneid after that ugly 35-yard attempt earlier in the game, and he redeems himself.
You tell Coach, see, you can count on me. See, I just did this. You know, Coach was talking about his shoes and said, yeah, I'd like for him to go get just a pair of black shoes, but it's not going to happen.
Kickers are weird like that, Larry.
That's right.
They kind of march to the beat of their own drum.
Hey, you know what? As long as it goes in.
That's right. Wear whatever you want. Barefoot.
Wear heels. Right ahead.
Combat boots, I don't care. Just kick it through the uprights. So with 6:25 to go in the third quarter, Creekside has now scored 17 points here in the third quarter, and they are up 31-21 on the #1 ranked Tucker Tigers. And again, booted straight up in the air, and they have moved their kick returners up wisely, and it's Yaquis Shelley taking it at the 25-yard line. There's that cat and mouse game, Larry.
There you go. Exactly. Well, look, if you, and what Brian Lamar is saying, you're not going to kick it to my guy. I'll bring my guy to the ball. But the thing is, the way you do that, it allows the kicking team to get up the field much faster. The wall is right there. It doesn't allow him to get his blockers in place to create an alley for a return. So it's a very smart strategy by Coach Downs. Even though Shelley did touch the ball, he couldn't do anything with it.
That's a great point, and it's pretty good field position to start for Tucker. 1st and 10 from the 35. They have picked up some points as they scored a touchdown on their last possession and held Creekside to a field goal. And there's a screen pass on the outside to Kyle Lundy. He has not played a big part of the offense so far tonight, but he is their leading receiver.
Yeah, Lundy right here. Remember, we saw him in the first half. He had a touchdown, a ball that was a bit underthrown. Farrar likes that play, doesn't he? Nice smile on his face. Great camera work there by our crew. Lundy had that play earlier, a ball a bit underthrown that he thought might have had 6. He dropped it on a 3rd down play. Nice catch and run by him there.
Shotgun formation now for Farrar as he follows behind his fullback Elijah Sullivan and picks up a yard on 1st down. And Tucker now threatening to get inside Creekside territory once again.
Keep in mind, Evan Berry still not in the game, on the sidelines holding his helmet. Went down with the injury in the first half. You know he would love to be out here, but his team right now leading by 10 without him.
Back to the wing tee for Tucker. Sullivan the deep back. Dominic Sanders in motion. Pump and go. Farrar looking for Sanders. He runs past his man who's well out of bounds. He catches it, but he's well out of bounds. Defended by Cortez Sparkman. And you see Tucker taking a shot.
Give Sparkman credit for running right with that and playing the ball. That's the thing, again, that on some of these deep throws, the Creekside secondary on a couple of these has gotten burned by not knowing where the ball was. But Sparkman right there knew where it was the entire time, and it was thrown out of bounds. It turns out 3rd down now for the Tigers.
And Tucker, not known for being a passing team, has been oh so close to hitting a couple of big ones in this game. 3rd down and 8 now from the 49-yard line back to the wing tee. That's Devin Towns in motion, and throwing that way is Farrar. It's low, and then Towns pays for it as Cam Jackson comes up and lowers the boom.
Yeah, it was a tough play. That's a tough throw to make that sprint, turn around away from your body, catch the ball, your momentum's going away from you. One more look at it here. That's a really tough play to make for both the quarterback and the receiver. 4th down now for Tucker.
Cameron Jackson's showing no ill effects from his cramping earlier in the 3rd quarter. He backs up now to try to receive this punt. He's standing at his own 15-yard line. Eric Weber standing at the 34. Remember, they snapped one over his head earlier. This one a good one. A decent kick. Again, Weber the beneficiary of a good roll. And they'll mark it down at the 14-yard line. A 37-yard punt. One of our signature programs on GPB is Georgia Traveler. This season, the Traveler crew takes you to some scenic getaways, embark on a few high adrenaline adventures, and of course, dive into some of the best restaurants the Peach State has to offer. All that and much, much more. New episodes begin January 19th. Catch Georgia Traveler Fridays at 8 o'clock on GPB.
Nice job here by both these teams. Creekside again. Tucker had the nice drive. Nice job by their defense to come back and make that stop and get their offense back on the field.
And now Creekside, who has not been easily denied tonight on offense. An offense that's scoring 41 points a game, has 31 now. And they go back to the ground game in Bryson Terry. And he is bottled up immediately for a gain of 1.
Nice game last weekend here in the Georgia Dome. 74,000 plus to watch a thrilling offensive slugfest between Auburn and Missouri. And again, we've had some great football here this weekend already, with more to come tomorrow.
This game has been everything that we thought it would be. There's Bryson Terry picking up the 1st down and several more before being taken down to the 30-yard line by defensive end Jonathan Ledbetter. A 15-yard carry, and it'll move the sticks.
Yeah, 1,200 yards on the season, 16 touchdowns. We look at this one more time. As we said before, again, he's one half of the Lightning and Thunder duo in this Seminole backfield. He just runs so hard. That's the thing you notice about him. He's a big, strong, quick back. He's hard to bring down.
And again, it's Bryson Terry again following his blocks. And now into the 2nd level at the 40, the 30. And he is angled out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
He's just a workhorse. He really is. He's finally going to come out of the game right now. He deserves a break. But again, great blocking up front. You can see right there, there's number 72, Harrell, with a great block to seal the hole, make sure that he gets in there. Guys downfield running with him. And once again, we've said this so many times, Creekside again inside the 25-yard line of Tucker. And he's under center this time. There's Knox.
There is Knox. And look at him go. Touchdown number 4 for number 12. 22 yards. And Dexter Knox, who scored 3 touchdowns against Kell last week, outdoes himself tonight with 4 scores.
Yeah, you know, one of the keys of the game we talked about at the top, Trey, was this Tucker team, this Tucker defense has got to slow down the Seminoles. They want to get at you quick. They want to get right to the line and run the ball, and they have done that. How many times have we seen a quick score by them? And again, here they are on the verge of getting 38 points in this game, and we're still with 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. This is one now where this Creekside offense is really making it a move, and what a job by the young man, Dexter Knox, the senior, 5'9", 200 pounds, now with 26 touchdowns on the season. Here's a look at it. Knox, you see here again the hole. Great blocking up front. Sees the seam, feels the defense responding, cuts it back. And let me tell you something. 4 touchdowns. Here we go. Here we go. You ready for this? Creekside, they're going to change their name if they win this to the School of Hard Knocks.
And you can faintly hear the rim shot in the background.
I'm here all weekend, baby. I'm here all weekend.
And
try the field.
You called it thunder and lightning, and if Tucker was going to have a chance in this football game, they were going to have to make it, what'd you call it, a light shower.
Yes.
But it has not been tonight.
No, it's not. Let me tell you something. The weatherman was not on their side right now. Lightning and thunder. And you look at that drive right now, a perfect example. Look at what Bryson Terry did on the 2 big runs, the long run to get it down inside the 25. He comes out after the big run, and you turn right around and give it to Knox. Lightning and thunder. Getting it done now, and Creekside in control of this game, 38-21. What an impressive showing they've had here these last 8 minutes.
And they have come out here in the second half like they've been shot out of a cannon.
Yes, sir.
Just 14 points in the first half, but looked really crisp doing so. But they've taken it to a new level in the third quarter. And the kick return down to the 28-yard line.
Here we go. Let me look at this right here. This is the run right here. The guy we're watching this is lightning, right? Watch what he does. He's going to take this ball as we go on and roll it here. He's going to take this ball and run right around here, around the left edge. We take a look at this. Sees the seam right here. Great blocking by his lineman. 72, 77 comes right in here through the seam. Blocking downfield. Good job there by 11. Not to Jason Stanley. Come back to live action right now, but I think a little longer to describe here. I'm just so impressed again, not so much with the entire offensive scheme, but again, the blocking up front. And we talked to Coach Downs in terms of how they call their signals, how they go about things, and how they work in tandem to set up some big holes and allow these running backs to get big yards.
And he also talked about the pressure that his offense puts on the defense because they can run every play in their arsenal with the same 11 guys without having to interchange personnel, and it really makes the defense, puts them behind the 8 ball and doesn't really give them a chance to scheme. And now Tucker finds themselves down 38 to 21. And Coach Lamar wants to talk about it on the sideline as he gathers the troop. And Lamar is calm, cool, and collected as usual. But he's got an uphill battle with 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. They trail big.
And they certainly do. Again, 14-0 on the season, as is Creekside. But now these Tigers, they're in a position they've never been in this season. They have never given up this many points in a game. And as you mentioned, they're now down 17. This has been a second half right now. The Creekside has had all the answers. Tucker had the great drive to come right back. But the Seminoles playing very, very good. They've got momentum on their side. And again, a bit of a swagger right now. As you can see, a little different ball language and body language. And look at who's in the middle. We get a shot of right there on the field. Number 1, Evan Berry, out there leading the charge, cheering on his teammates there on the field.
Let's check in downstairs with Nelly.
You know, you talk about Dexter Knox and the kind of busy night that he's had. He's been okay tonight. When we talked to Alton Downs, he said this is a guy that runs with a chip on his shoulder. And he also has a 3.34 GPA and an 18 ACT. So if he's running with a chip on his shoulder normally, what's the weather forecast for him tonight running on a chip?
Well, he has been
Mr. Meteorologist.
Absolutely outstanding. I'll defer to the news guy, Larry Smith, for that. I don't want to be a meteorologist up here, but it's been rain and touchdowns for number 12.
Oh man, well it's monsoon time. I mean, it's time to take shelter if he gets the ball again. If he does score again, it may be lights out.
3rd and 10 now. Tucker going to the air. They've got to come back. They trail by 17, and Farrar calls his own number. He's been dangerous in the run game tonight, and it looks like he picked up a first down for the Tigers.
Well, again, if you're Tucker right now, and a great play right there by Farrar, and again, you're going to see a very nice block right here. Good blocking, but couldn't find anything down there. That's Sanders again, I think. Just lays out a defender. But again, you're down 17. But don't get ahead of yourself right now. You've got a lot of very smart players. We've gotten it done all season long. Take each play, execute it to perfection, move the ball down the field.
And back to the shotgun for Joseph Farrar. They go screen pass. Dominic Sanders tries to reel it in with that big right hand the way he did on that hook and ladder. And he was unable to do it right there. If he had, he'd had big yardage ahead as there was a lot of green artificial turf and not many maroon jerseys.
Yeah, there sure was. Boy, that would have been a big gain for the Tigers when you look at that. He was, I mean, there's nothing but green space in front of him as you take a look at this. Sees the blitz coming, makes the call. Look at that, got the blockers set up. Oh, he jumped a little early, I think, on that one.
And you saw Rashawn Crawford, the offensive lineman, disappointed. He knew they had something special on that screen pass. This one is an incomplete pass to Yaquise Shelley going up against the free safety Cameron Jackson. That's one heck of a matchup. And it's incomplete as they continue to try to get the ball into number 4's hands. But the incompletion will force a 3rd and 10.
Well, Shelley's really impressive. everything that he does. You can't blame him for trying to just get the ball in his hands, make good things happen when he's done that, as you mentioned in the game he had earlier this year. A couple times he's touched the ball here, but I give the Seminoles credit for a scheme to try to deny him the ball.
And so on 3rd and 10, expectedly, Tucker goes 4 wide and then runs the quarterback draw. And Farrar holding the ball very loosely, lucky not to have had that slip out. And he's tackled down. It'll be a loss. And that is Elliott Berry. And a loss of 1.
I'm sorry about that, Trey. If you can see this right here, you got a great job by Elliott Berry to force the action. Runs right around the block right there, and that's what created that play. Once that happened, he was forced to bust out of the pocket. They were right there, and now it's bad news right now for Shelley.
Yeah, again, as John mentioned a little bit earlier, when these players move from the cold weather of the playoffs inside the confines and the climate control of the Georgia Dome, a lot of times hydration becomes an issue. You don't sweat near as much in the cold weather as you do when you come in here to the 72-degree Georgia Dome, and cramping becomes a major issue no matter what time of year you're playing indoors. And Shelley looks like he's just fine, and he'll hobble off the field under his own power. Meanwhile, it's 4th down and 11 for the Tucker Tigers. And here comes Eric Weber to punt once again.
Shelley trying to jog a little bit. No work on him, but again, he does so many big things on both sides of the field, just like we've seen with Evan Berry. Yaki Shelley is somebody that Tucker's going to want to get on the field, back on the field as soon as possible if they can, as he goes to the bench.
Here's Weber's kick to Cameron Jackson. He has not been able to return one tonight. This is the first one that he's fielded cleanly, but it's a fair catch at the 27-yard line. Let's take a look at Creekside the last time they had the ball. And here's Bryson Terry.
Yeah, Bryson Terry again. Here's a long run. He's the lightning of this duo. Strikes, gets it downfield, and then here comes thunder. Dexter Knox. 4th touchdown of the game. And again, great blocking, great vision, great instincts to run away from the defense once he breaks into the 2nd level and hits Pater for 6 more points.
And although number 12 has made it look easy tonight, this is one of the best defenses in the state of Georgia.
Yes.
In any classification. This Tucker defense yielding just 12.3 points per game, and already Creekside with 38. And the 1st down carry yields 2 yards.
It's just been very impressive by this Creekside team right now, and right now they're very much in control as the clock winds under 3 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. They can take their time and burn a little bit of clock, but you want to keep moving. You don't want to not move the ball. This has been impressive.
Extra lineman on the right side, and Knox will run behind him, and he is corralled as Dedrick Dukes was taken on a ride. There's 2 fantastic football players meeting at the 35-yard line. Dukes headed to Georgia, and Dexter Knox, as you mentioned earlier, Larry, uncommitted. Inexplicably uncommitted.
Think his stock has gone up tonight?
Absolutely.
This kid's impressive.
3rd down and short now. Back to the run game, back to Knox, and it's a tackle for loss, and a huge tackle for loss. And it's Justin Hughes.
Hughes might have knocked himself a little dizzy right there, possibly. Kind of shaking his head a little bit. It's quite a hit right there. Knox looked like he had trouble kind of collecting the ball, switched hands and tried to avoid the contact, but give credit now for Tucker for a stop on 3rd down to force the punt. Here's one more look at it. Watch Hughes come up. He took kind of a forearm to the face mask, looks like. Knocked his helmet off a little bit.
And what it did is it gave Tucker an opportunity here to stop Creekside, which they have not done here in the 2nd half. And Creekside wants to take a timeout. It's 4th down and about 2 yards. The ball's at the 35-yard line, but remember, it was 3rd down and about a football's length, and Justin Hughes' tackle for loss really saved the day. And Dexter Knox, with that loss, has 15 carries for 99 yards, but the most important stat for number 12, 4 TDs.
Yeah, he's been simply outstanding, and really you look at him and the kickoff return there to start the 2nd half. by Cam Jackson. Those are the 5 touchdowns that's been the offense. By the way, each team now with 1 timeout left. We still have a quarter plus to go.
If you haven't already heard, we have a fantastic high school football app. You're never far away from all the live action during championship weekend, and you can watch every game live from your iPhone or iPad. No matter where you go this weekend, take us along and watch the game live or check in to see the latest scores. It's free. Download it from the App Store today. So after the Creekside timeout, it looks like they are going to punt, as wide receiver Jason Stanley stands at his 20-yard line, and the dynamic duo Yaquis Shelley and Dominic Sanders down around their 34-yard line.
What do you bet they kick it out of bounds on Sanders' side?
That's been the strategy so far tonight, and it's another knuckleball, and it is out of bounds. But you were wrong. It was on Yaquis Shelley's side.
You see, he didn't even go to the ball. He just pointed at it. It's going to go out right there, and he walked away.
Well, it's not exciting, but it is very sound football strategy.
Sure. That's right.
I can honestly say I would have done the exact same thing, a 31-yard punt. And now Tucker gets the ball back. And I won't say that Coach Lamar is breathing a sigh of relief, but it's certainly good to get your offense back on the field after not yielding any points on defense.
Yep, absolutely, especially the way this quarter is gone. This is coming out of halftime, this is the last thing, if you're Tucker and Coach Lamar, that you wanted. But again, both teams have shown they can score quickly. The 1 touchdown that Creekside did get in the second half, they scored in 2 minutes, and they know they're capable.
24 points here in the third quarter for Creekside, only 7 for Tucker. They'll try to add to it. Rolling out is Farrar. Got a man. It's Sanders. A nice run, and he might be gone. And he is. And just like that, Tucker scored. 65-yard touchdown. And you're exactly right, Larry. They can score quickly, and they certainly did. How's one play for you?